Oh, what up? My name is Hoettilla. I will be running BioShock, the 2007 version, not the remaster. So, I guess everything's set up, so we can go. So, the timer starts on the first movement input. So, I guess these are all backups, by the way. And we're going. So, basically, this is BioShock 1 for PC, any percent. Was released in 2007. This is not the remaster, by the way. The remaster fixed a lot of glitches and bugs that make the game fun to speedrun, but they also broke a lot of other stuff, so it's not worth speedrunning the remaster. We have quite a lot of cutscenes coming up, so I have a lot of time to explain stuff. Probably not enough time. So this game is a first-person shooter with RPG elements and I guess horror elements if you want. So there's not much to say about the opening cutscene. I will try to do a very simple trick here that really doesn't save time. So we are now outside of this bathysphere. We're going down. Usually you're not supposed to see much because you're inside this screen. There's a movie screen coming down, whatever. But we clipped outside so we can actually see the true splendor of Rapture, the city underwater. Especially this massive square box. Great world design, by the way. So, about the tricks, I might have to explain them beforehand while this cutscene plays. Basically, the main tricks in this game are diary cutscene skips, breaking cutscenes so that we can actually walk inside of them, and flinging. Now, flinging is the use of a power-up called telekinesis that allows us to pick up objects. Then we stand on top of these objects, jump and pull them towards us. Now, if we have enough frame rate, we actually can fly. Short interruption. Great scenery. There's like volcanoes here, crabs flying in the air, frozen squid that will now start moving again. It's amazing what you can see outside this bathysphere. Like, the city is not even finished. There's like walkways going absolutely nowhere. Great, like untextured walls. They truly just did what they had to do in this opening level because you're not supposed to see all this, so they didn't actually finish it. Back to flings again. We basically have to disable VSync, turn the graphics to very low, like the game will not look very good. Also, this Big Daddy is wielding nothing. He's welding this gateway with his bare hands. We basically need a lot of frames. So we unlock the frame rate and push it up. So we should be at about 300 to 500 FPS right now, which we need for the fling. If we have less than that, the flings don't work at all or don't go high enough. Now, we use these flings to fling over cutscenes, over invisible walls, over triggers. It's going to be fairly self-explanatory once you see them. There's not much more to it. Another trick in here, again, I said we break cutscenes so that we can move in them. Now, this very first level is basically an introduction to the world. We see now here the enemies, the splices, the like drugged up mutants, murderers, by the way. This guy will die, sorry Johnny. Basically there's a lot of cutscenes in this level. The first one is where we pick up Electro Bolt. Basically it allows us to shoot like lightning out of our hands. It's a very long cutscene because usually you're supposed to pass out and a Big Daddy comes by. Well, we don't do that. We basically save buffer and load buffer, frame perfect. At 500 frames, it's fairly difficult, but we can pause buffer to make this basically free. And we can then walk around in the cutscene. Now, why am I saying this right now? Because once that is broken, we have Electro Bolt without going through the entire cutscene. However, we will be constantly moving towards the vending machine that would give us the upgrade. For the entirety of this level, we will be non-stop slowly sliding backwards. And we basically have to counteract that by constantly jumping forwards, which is really frustrating, to the point where I bound my jump key to mouse wheel. So basically, to jump, I scroll my mouse wheel like this, to basically have nearly no frames of me touching the ground, because every time you touch the ground after the cutscene breaks, you will be moved backwards. It's fairly annoying to learn, and a true master really needs to get this down. You will see what I mean soon. There's not much here to do. Again, this is world building. We do not have a weapon yet, so we pick up this winch. Basically, we have to wait. The mouse sensitivity is a bit high. Our first enemy. We kill him. We loot him. So, this usually would give us an upgrade. But we pause buffer by saving, by quick saving, then actually saving. Then, while this is loading, we hit escape, load the save we just saved. Don't ask me why this works. And now we broke the cutscene. We can now move around this cutscene. We now have Electrobolt to open this door. And as you can see, the game is kind of broken. We are constantly moving backwards, and we basically have to go through these tunnels, which is kind of frustrating. So, like I said, we are constantly moving backwards, and to keep our momentum we have to jump forwards. The problem is, like that thing, everything we touch slows us down to dead zero. Like the fish back there, like this barrel that is rolling here, the trunk I just hit. And, it should be enough? No, it's not. So basically, the first level is really frustrating. We need to trigger this guy. And he spawned in the wrong half. Okay, doesn't matter. We just kill him. Usually you zap him and head him, give him the 1-2 punch, like this guy, to just one-hit them. For the rest of the levels we will be constantly jumping. We now need to get into an elevator. The setup is nearly impossible because of the constantly moving. But I will try. Now, this burning enemy actually helps us. He tends to push us into the elevator. So thanks, guy. Have fun. Okay, goodbye.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Sure, there's not much more to it.
Alright, that's perfect. We've got a $5 donation from Anonymous saying, Hoettilla, wir lieben dich. Liebe Grüße, Team Nashi. On English that's, Hoettilla, we love you. Greetings, Team Nashi. Thanks for the donation.
Shout out to the guys in the Nashi Discord. They have nothing to do with speedrunning this game, by the way. But thanks for the donation. And this is a bit tricky because... Yeah, okay, sorry. This party head here on the ground is the bane of my existence. It stops you dead. Lets you slide down the stairs. Basically, it's a reset. Now, there's usually another cutscene here. We save and load again. Basically, you're forced to put your weapons away in this cutscene. And wait out until a Big Daddy kills a splicer. Basically, it's a tutorial showing you how dangerous Big Daddies are, and that if you attack a little sister, basically they will attack you. But again, we just don't listen. We just ignore it and just go for it because we broke the cutscene. I really want to kill her and loot her because she has a lot of bullets. She has like 8 bullets on her. Ignore this guy. So, electricity and water are a nice combination. Usually they just one-shot every enemy you're hitting, which is a bit of a gimmick actually. I need a bit of concentration. There's an enemy that I have to hit. They're good. Headshot. Basically, if you miss this enemy, lose a lot of time. Because he just runs away. And you have to wait for nearly a minute until he reappears. I will try to headshot these 2 enemies up here. Missed and missed again. Doesn't matter. Okay, it actually did matter. Ow, space. Okay, so... this was not supposed to happen. Okay, that was a bit slower than it should have been. So basically, if you kill the last enemy, this gate opens. Now, there's the third cutscene here that we will skip. There's usually like an introduction into Orion, but hitting this exit door with Electrovolt exits the level. I don't know why. It just works. Which is always a great explanation in speedruns. It just works. So a bit low on bullets because I slightly messed up back there. Hacking. The only thing that you will actually ever hack. The first time you boot up the game, the puzzle is always the same. So I do this and this, and it's always all the hacking you will see in the entire game. Which is fine, because the hacking is not a good minigame. So now is a bit of movement. Pick up the Tommy gun. Shoot a couple of enemies. Trigger this cutscene that we cannot skip. Use the time to loot. If you see the game like stuttering, that is sadly part of the game. The game is not well optimized. It is a console port, and it can break and it can crash. So I really hope it doesn't, but the game is prone to crashing. So the gimmick in this level is to basically get the second and third power up, basically incinerate, which allows us to, well, incinerate enemies, basically turn them into fire, and ignite like oil, like this stuff here. Use it to melt ice, and after we melt the ice, we basically get telekinesis, the thing we need for flinging. Which after this, basically, we completely break the game. Also, flinging is broken in a multitude of ways. Is not only used to skip a lot of the game, is also the strongest weapon in the game, because by basically throwing enemies at enemies, they die. It's just a one-shot on easy difficulty, which this is on. I actually wanted to grab a corpse. Like this. No, I said a corpse. That doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't grab any corpses. That's not good. So I will do a safety save, because this up here is the first fling in the game. And if it doesn't work, I have a massive problem. But it should work. I tested it twice. So we grab this box, align it so that actually the top or bottom side are up. This should work. Stand on top of it and fling over this invisible wall. So what this did, it didn't actually save like much time. We could have just ran around the corner, but what it did, sorry, there we go. Basically, there was a Vita chamber. Now, Vita chambers are basically respawn points when you die, and we did not activate it. So basically, we need to kill this boss. By the way, I just moved this shotgun ammo over this wall. I'm waiting for good timing. Second. I missed it. Okay, so now I have to wait. Basically, we do not trigger the Vita chamber, and so if we now die, we respawn all the way back in the beginning of the level. What we want, because after we kill this guy, we just need something to kill him with. He's dead. We now will death warp back to the entrance of the level. If we activated the Vita chamber, we would actually end up... Well, there's a new tutorial on the way that basically gets introduced after you kill this guy. like how to harvest little sisters, whatever. Like, it's slow, the level changes, it's annoying. We don't do that. We warp here. Now we die in this specific corner because for some reason this triggers the Vita chamber in the very beginning of the level. And we're now in the very beginning of the level, which is also the exit of the level. Strange level design. So, there's an enemy up here somewhere. Doesn't matter. And that's the entire level. We didn't save a single little sister, we didn't fight a single big daddy. Level's done. And it's good to see that flings actually work, because it was a big worry of mine. Now, this level, we can actually move right now. It's black screen, but we can move. So, why not just instantly move? If you have seen like older runs, like 2-year-old runs, the strategy in this level has changed quite a bit. Basically, we kill this big daddy instead of ignoring it. I missed again. Nice. Then we save this little sister. The only little sister we will ever save in the entire run. Which, by the way, gives us the good ending. So, yay, good ending. What this does is it causes invisible splicer to appear. What? Sorry, that shouldn't have exploded my turret. Still hit her good. So basically, I just hit the invisible splicer that we spawned in. Usually you have to fight her, she comes down, she's basically unkillable at this point. And it just takes so long for her to run away and the door to open again. So basically by saving little sister, she spawns early, we hit her while she's invisible, and well, that's about it. I will try to save a little bit of time with this fling here. There we go, we just skip the door that takes forever to open. So, it's a bit of running here. Now, next we get the camera. It's not really useful for much. In the base game you're supposed to photograph your enemies and then you get like very small bonuses for it. It's not really worth it. We will only really get a Sports Boost 1, which basically allows us to run slightly faster, which makes sense because we are trying to run fast. There's a trick here that allows us to take 2 pictures on this guy. I can't do it, just can't. I'm not good at this game, by the way. So we do the old route and take the 3 pictures and that we need to actually progress in this level. Basically, the enemy spawns are usually always the same. Like one splice is on the ceiling here, one is right after this door. If you're just quick enough, you take a picture before they run away. There's not too much to it. Basically, if you wait too long, they run away and you have to basically find them deep hidden inside these levels. I'm setting up another death warp, but I don't want to get too low HP because of this guy. He's killed me a lot of times. I should also notice there are invincibility frames. Right now I failed to set it up properly, so I now have to wait until I die. Basically, if you take damage and fall low enough, you have a couple of seconds of invulnerability. So we try to trigger that early to death warp in time. Now the next fun part, audio diaries. As you can see in the bottom row, I display the actual dialogue in the game. It triggers on stuff. Now we can skip a lot of the very long dialogue by playing certain audio diaries. Also, by the way, this guy confiscated all of our weapons, aside from the massive grenade one launch we just took into the room, whatever. Basically, we skip a lot of audio, trigger a lot of game triggers early, because a lot of the games, like logic triggers, whatever, spawning, all that stuff, is based on audio diaries. Like this guy, if I skip this specific... where did that come? Whatever. I'm now waiting for the guy to yell, Atlas, he was ours. That's when he spawned. This guy, he's dead. Why can't I grab corpses? This is bad. No, it doesn't matter. We get our weapons back. Like, it's a very, very lengthy time with our weapons, like 30 seconds. We got the grenade launcher upgrade. That's for later. There's this ice. Another thing is, like, stuff like grenade launchers, shotguns, whatever, they shoot very slowly, like this. But we can swap between the weapons and the plasmids with right click. And basically, if we spam that, there's no cooldown between shooting, which allows us to do like insane damage. Which we will actually do later to defeat a couple of Big Daddies very quickly, and the final boss also very quickly. This level is a big cutscene. I jumped a bit late. This slopes, for some reason, has really broken physics. Basically, the entire story so far is that, like, Andrew Ryan builds this big city on the bottom of the ocean where he's no longer bound by morality, whatever. And quickly, there's an opposing force in the name of Frank Fontaine. He's a smuggler. He's, like, trying to profit from Andrew Ryan. Also, by the way, another save buffer. We just backwalk out of this door instead of getting stuck inside the cutscene, save several minutes. And basically, there's also Atlas, the guy who's been talking to us all the time. His family's in this submarine, so goodbye. They were in this submarine. This, by the way, this is Atlas. And he's like the opposing force to Andrew Ryan. Like, Andrew Ryan is big, mean, and uncaring, and Atlas is basically the hero, the people's hero, so that everyone adores him. Now, I'm going to bit into spoiler, because the story doesn't do much, because a lot of the story is explained through audio diaries, and we will not pick up many audio diaries. So if you come here to understand the story, that won't happen. You won't really get much of the story from this. So basically, Frank Fontaine not acts out suicide, but fakes his suicide and re-emerges as Atlas. And he's basically manipulating you to do his bidding, which is basically to sabotage Andrew Ryan. Another fling up here, if I actually hit it, not the ceiling. Second. Oh, just this. By the way, I can die from falling damage, because falling damage is not calculated by actual height, but by how long you were jumping upwards. So if I clip into the ceiling and get stuck, I basically die from falling damage. We take a couple of pictures from this splicer. It's not enough to get the boost, but it's okay. We grab this box. Now this box should not get damaged, because things getting damaged break the objects and we can no longer fling with them. We take another nice picture of this guy, also sorry for the stuttering. This gives us the boost, we now move slightly faster, thanks, that's it. This level is like a big garden, and the story in here is that basically Andrew Ryan notices you going through this garden, is like, I don't want you here, I'd rather destroy the entire garden than you being here. And so basically it sprays like poison gas in here, which destroys the entire forest. This event of like poison gas spraying is triggered by a door. In fact, the door in this very room. So if I look at the door, or get too close to the door, it will trigger that cutscene, lock the door and poison the entire area. So if we never actually look at the door and fling over the trigger, we actually can just go through the door. It never closes, it never sprays the poison. Easy level. It's fairly annoying, because usually if you have too many frames, you just kill yourself from falling damage every time. And it's fairly frustrating to set up because you cannot actually look where you are. This is fairly hard to master. Not that good. This was not quick. Not a quick setup. But basically, you have to do it blind. Because if you look up, it triggers the cutscene and you fail. This level, Fort Frolic, has some people's favorite character, Sander Cohen. He's like an artist. But we just skipped the entire level. Because this bathysphere that just left, it only visually just left. The loading zone is still here, if I find it. Okay, we should get to here. Now this is a bit annoying, because again, loading zone is invisible. Please? Loading zone. I might have to reload the level. I should just reload the level, it's easier. That is Fort Frolic. So basically we're fooling over an invisible barrier, jump into the bathysphere which has left and is now invisible, and just hit the switch to leave the level. If I don't mess it up. See, it's still there, and now it's basically going underwater. Which has the advantage of us not actually killing Sander Cohen. So if you like Sander Cohen, he's not dead, basically. So I'm actually standing on top of the lever right now, which is annoying. Please, game.
That's better. Atlas Ride.
There,
Atlas Ride.
Game, please, just show it to me.
Time-wise,
Love it.
you could get something decent.
There we go. Sorry, took a bit longer. So again, the loading zone is just there. We just jump in there, have to find it, and the level's done. So no more Sander Cohen, that's all we ever hear of him. Basically now everyone talks of him as if he's dead, which he is not. This is basically a pacifist run. I buy a couple of Seabolts here personally, nobody else does that. I just like the crossbow, it's a really good weapon. And we do not have a lot of ammo for it. The story didn't really progress much. The last level with Sander Cohen was basically an interlude. The story didn't progress at all, actually. We're still on the way to go to Andrew Ryan as he runs the city, basically to kill him. I don't know why we actually dislike the guy, but I guess he built the city and Atlas tells us to kill him, so Atlas is a good guy, so we just kill Andrew Ryan, I guess. We grab this audio diary, play it, immediately play another audio diary over it, because that actually counts as the audio diary having finished. I can't grab any corpses. Okay. Usually you can actually telekinesis grab corpses. I have to do without now. Okay, I guess. So there's a couple of enemies behind this door. I turn the floor into fire here to basically kill the enemies that are running behind me. Reload to 4 frag grenades, because there's the first Big Daddy we ever meet and fight. He's attacking the splicer and hit me. That was not supposed to happen. No, I hope I triggered the loading zone. I did. Okay, I didn't lose any time. There we go, fine, crossbow. So basically, like I said, you can switch between plasmids and your weapon to quickly kill Big Daddies. Now, of course, using grenades for that, I basically exploded myself. Big Daddy is dead. I can't pick up corpses, also not from Big Daddies, which is interesting. So the purpose of this level is to basically build a big EMP to destroy the central core of Rapture that basically drops the defense to Andrew Ryan. I guess. Whatever the story wants us to do. And for that we need several parts. Second hacking, which reduced the auto hack we got earlier. Damage boost with this. Hit the switch. Grab the oh, I didn't properly skip the audit diary. I was scared for a second. What is going on? A second.
The basic casing is ready.
Yes, basic casing.
Charge of nitroglycerin.
Jungle style. Okay, get it. And now we skip it. And this is bad. So I guess I have a bit of time to actually listen to the audio diary and hope it didn't completely break the game. So technically what should happen that a lot of things get I can now pick up, including this nitroglycerin. I have no clue why it didn't. I'm at 1 HP, if a guy just shoots me I instantly die. Okay, just have to wait it out. Listening a bit to like techno, mumbo jumbo. Ah, doing a live run, great, I love it. This guy. The problem is there's two audio diaries and I actually never listen to them, so I never know which one is the right one. That was the wrong one. The problem is I need to death warp out of here, so if I just do anything else I just die. And basically have to go back here again. Oh, I love it. Luckily I had the estimate slightly raised, but it should still be in time. Why? Okay, I now have to... What do I do now? Okay, I reload the level. That's autosave, yeah. Quick save. Sorry, that loses a lot of time. Again, the audio diary is a bit finicky. There are layer audio diaries where we basically pause buffer and audio buffer exiting a level, and we play certain audio diaries, but only very specific ones, to stop ourselves from getting warped out. If we play the wrong ones, we get warped out. If we play the right ones, it delays the warp out. And I have no clue what happened there. But I should still be in a reasonable time. The rest was going fairly well. So let's do this again, because it was so fun. Because this did work. Yeah, this does work, but I don't know why the other one didn't work. Still can't grab corpses. Again, the game is slightly broken, and by slightly broken I mean it's really broken. And they never really fixed any of the problems it had on release. They just went with it. I mean, it's an old shooter game by now. They remastered it. The remaster is also borked, so you just have to go along with it. At least this time I shouldn't. Why are there two splices? I missed. Let's do it again. Trigger the alarm doesn't really do anything, we just ignore everything and run through. Quick kill on this guy. Because we cannot actually throw corpses, we just shoot these. And we're now nearly at where we were last time. This time I will actually give the audio diary a couple of seconds to play. If this doesn't work, I have backup saves,
Nitroglycerin in my office. That will
but ideally, of course, it should work. If this starts glowing yellow, it worked. Ah, it worked. It worked. Nice. So we're safe. The run is safe. Once more, go here. Get set to 1 HP. It clearly works, but I can't pick this up, which might be... Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure I hit the switch several times. Now I look like an idiot. Sorry. So basically we now have to pick parts. There's like these ionic gels flying in the corners. And we get parts from Big Daddies. Don't shoot me, now shoot me. So basically we do 3 big rounds and we're good to build the bomb. We now have all the parts aside from 1 ionic gel and 2 parts from Big Daddies, but we already killed the Big Daddies. We didn't loot them. Can't grab corpses, I forgot, sorry. So we now loot them because they now have the components that they didn't have before. Grab the last ionic gel. Take a shortcut. We're fine with taking damage because we will use another death ward. Get us to 1 HP. Don't actually kill ourselves too early. And now we build the bomb. Basically it's mash E until the bomb is done and immediately the death abuse. Now getting the bomb is basically you're supposed to lower it to actually reach it and stuff. But that's not fun. Why lowering a bomb? Who does that? Like, why not just jump up to the bomb? It's much more fun. If it works. That is fine. Jump up here. Go down here. I didn't jump. At least I didn't throw away the ammunition. I said at least I didn't throw away the ammunition. Backups. So the problem here is that if you don't have sports boost, you cannot actually just walk off, but you actually have to jump off. And now I jump off. Okay. So basically, the bomb here, it's up here. We do not lower it. We go down here, kill ourselves again, to go back up again. It's actually an easy jump. I just messed it up. And that's basically the entire level. Basically now everything is exploding, which is fine by us because we don't actually care. And we are getting close to the final climax of the story. The facing off against Andrew Ryan. Now, if you've played the game, you might remember this scene. It's a very iconic scene. It's in fact my favorite scene from the entire game. Basically, the reason why I started speedrunning this game, because the voice acting is amazing. Basically on Andrew Ryan, who's talking right now. And we will just ignore about all of it. It's actually pretty fun, because usually in the end, spoilers, you actually beat him to death with his own golf club, because he orders you to it. Because, even more spoilers, you're actually not a human. You're a 3-year-old mutant baby. Yes, you are, and you're mind-controlled, by the way. This is just the story. Now we play the correct message here, in this case kill Ryan, walk back out, buffer the exiting. Now if this audio diary stops, through various manual reasons, I get walked back out of this level. Now I of course don't want to trigger this early. We clip up here, we jump over an invisible wall, because usually you're supposed to be stuck here, just like slowly exploding the core or whatever. We don't have time for that. There's no core exploding here. Skip a couple of diaries here and do the correct ones, because if I do the wrong ones, Worm sees God is good, opens this door. Basically, we're really rude because Andrew Ryan invites us to a nice round of golf. We just exit out the level because we triggered the loading zone from the beginning of the level. But Andrew Ryan is actually a really patient guy because he's still, as of right now, in this very second, continuing the cutscene. He's still golfing, he's still ordering you around, he's still basically telling you, kill me with my own golf club, but we're not there. Because in the cutscene it would lock you. We are not in the cutscene, even though it is right now playing, which allows us to actually basically just run past Andrew Ryan. Now, there's a small problem with this, because he locks the door behind us, so we have to fling using this napalm to basically jump over the gate. But if you like Andrew Ryan, any percent should make you happy, because we actually don't kill him. We just leave the guy alone. Now, aligning this is insane. Basically, slam it against the wall until it points in the right direction. Do a quick save buffer, not backup save, sorry, not save buffer. Because this can take quite a bit. Oh, quick load is faster. This is my run killer number 1. And you randomly bounce around the floor. By the way, this is still worth it. Like, the cutscene is extremely long that we're skipping with this. Did I break it? Objects can break, that you can no longer use them to fling. I love this trick. It's great. It's the last really annoying trick in the game. That was... So basically, it's a bit finicky with entering this door. Let me realign this. This looks good. Let's do a quick save. Basically, I have probably slightly too many frames per second, to the point where I accidentally jumped too high and hit the ceiling. Let's do it again. This looks good. Why do I have a branch out? Okay, please. This. So I just died in a level that has no respawning zone, so it boots me back to the main menu. Thanks, game. Really hope I get this soon. I have a backup save for this, which I might do if I don't get this. Okay, I nearly died again, but I got it. I just need to threaten the game with backup saves. We save and load here. Basically breaks the cutscene, allows us to move, because like Andrew Ryan, he's still there. He doesn't care. And basically the game now thinks Andrew Ryan is dead. They're basically telling you now non-stop, Andrew Ryan is dead, oh, the city is in ruin, Frank Fontaine is now back in power, and oh, like Andrew Ryan is right there, he's just going off. Also, big spoiler, would you kind is the mind-controlling phrase that is used to control you. Ooh, surprise, oh no, the game is spoilered. Just as if you didn't know that, I mean it's a big meme, basically. We skip 2 cutscenes here. Watch him play golf, like he's still there. And we just exit the level. Basically, we still save time by doing all this, even I failed it so many times. I see a lot of would you kindlies in chat. Thanks, chat. I'm proud of you. Okay, so now the objective of the game is to basically break the mind controlling that was done to you. Keep in mind you're basically a drugged up super baby that is nothing but mind control, so that's fairly difficult to do. So we have to get 2 serums that basically break your DNA, whatever, rearrange it so you're now free. Some of the mind control is now at this point erased by story purposes, okay, guess. I mean, else just Fontaine could say, why don't you please, like, would you kindly stop breathing, and you would just die. Plot twist. Doesn't happen. We basically have to wait for the little sister here to run upstairs. There's not much we can do. We can eat this girl's pet bar. She gets angry. We eat the other one as well. She gets even more angry. And we basically kick this birthday teddy's hair off. Not hair, his head off. And she's finally starting to run. Yay! The sisters are great in this game. Every single one is a small, like, companion mission where you basically have to escort her through various levels. I tried to. You can actually jump on these little sisters. They have a hitbox. We're just messing around because we basically have to wait for her to open this door, and there's absolutely nothing we can do to speed this up. So we just mess around with them. Just for fun. Don't mess with little sisters, by the way. The big daddy would just murder you. Pro tip. Get this gate cranked. Turn it around exactly 1.5 times. Sorry, 1.25 times. Which is the magic number. This was even more than I needed, whatever. So, basically in the game we now have the options to get either of the serums that we need in the order that we want to. But that's slow. So basically we load this loading zone to the next level, just walk out before the door closes. And we're now storing again the warping. We just ignore all these enemies, they don't count. And we now have to skip the perfect amount of not cutscenes, of audio diaries. Ooh, that was too late. Oh no, oh no. Okay, I was talking too much. So basically, if he says code yellow, it's too late. You have to go back and do it before code yellow. I should have done a save to back up. Because now this is basically blind. This is not good. So basically I accidentally warped into the zone that I was trying to buffer. So we're now back in this level. I will try exactly the same thing again. What is he saying? He's saying it removed all his audio diaries. Yay! How do we do this now? I'm not sure what I'm doing right now because I usually just walk back out. I don't know the way back down. I'll just go with it. So basically, I would be skipping constantly audio diaries here to buffer the warping. Just ignore all the enemies. They don't count. They don't do any damage. We basically have to grab a... So we technically don't know these serums exist yet. So we have to pick up this audio diary that tells us they exist. Play it. We usually would skip it. This is like muscle memory what I'm doing right here. It's now useless. And have to go up to Dr. Su Chong's lab. Through this key code, it's always 5744. Always. Usually you're supposed to learn about this in an audio diary on the way. But it's always the same. Why should we get the audio diary if we actually know the answer? So the issue is again, I will have to run all the way back and I don't know the way. I mean, I have to wing it. There's a lot of people face-palming probably in the BioShock community. This would be a reset, but I have to go with it. Should this basically soft lock me, I have backups for this. Basically, we could grab this. Now we would actually walk out, but, well, we can't. Let me walk back. Now what these serums do is they break your mind control, but they also randomize your abilities. Like you only have a small handful of them, and you have no control over which one you have. Basically, we have security bullseye now, which is completely useless. See a lot of fail fishes in chat. I'm really proud of you, chat.
The effects of the mental suggestion are now gone. There is some
But should still be fine. I have no clue what that text box said.
good. Now go find Suchan's lab in the Artemis.
Oh heaven, oh,
In there,
oh
no
no,
doubt there will be more of it.
oh no. I might have to load a backup here. Because I am now in the wrong order of elements. This was Olympus Heights. I will now load the backup. The run is invalid. I'm basically here. I did not fail the code yellow. Run is invalid, sorry. Basically, this is what would happen if I didn't mess up skipping the audio diaries. We would still keep talking even though we play different audio diary. I'm really glad that I made these backups yesterday. And I messed it up again.
I knew there was something.
It didn't break. Okay, it didn't break. This is always a nice thing to say as a speedrunner. It didn't break. Always what I want to hear. The game can crash. The game is very prone to crashing, and it's horrible. Lately, it has not crashed as often. There are various countermeasures, completely random, apparently, like disabling the Steam overlay reduces crashing a lot. Why? I don't know. It just does. But basically, you don't want the game to crash. And we're back on track. The annoying thing is the Steam overlay actually shows you the frame rate, and like the flinging is frame dependent, so you want to actually know your frame rate. But you don't want to know your frame rate because it will crash your game. It's crazy. So this is what should have happened. We grab it, now we warp out with the potion. Now everything's fine and dandy again. If I randomly get murdered from the tech crew behind me, that's completely fine and reasonable. So now we are on the quest of getting the other serum to finally break the final mind control on us. And this level has nothing to it, absolutely nothing. We just run through everything, we ignore everything, we don't explore at all. We just run through the serum, suicide, run to the exit. That's it. It's an interesting level. I don't know why I froze these, because I actually want to be low at HP. Well, it's too late now. The powers always switch here, if we do it correctly. So we now have this decoy. The decoy is useless. It distracts this enemy who's now constantly throwing molotovs at there. It opens doors for us. It causes turrets to shoot, hopefully at us. It didn't. Like, there's not much to this. And this is the final serum. We now have all our powers back. We actually are invulnerable for a couple of seconds here. Now we death warp. By the way,
is the time for donations?
A quick explanation. I will basically jump out of bounds into an elevator and fall down the shaft. But yeah, sure, go ahead with donations.
Yeah, we have $13.37 from Uber saying a longer run means more time for donations. Feels good, man. Good luck for the final boss.
Thanks. Another. I'm not going to shout out the people on the Nashi Discord again. One is enough. But thanks. Thanks for guys. Basically, we kill these enemies. This is the elevator. It has a broken hitbox. We can clip into, fall down here, heal up, fall down here, heal up, and that's it. Level's done. This guy just walks past and dies. As you can see, there's 8 levels. We just entered the 7th level, so we're getting fairly close to the end. There's a death warp here in the beginning that I won't do because it's fairly difficult. Also, I have full health and it doesn't save much time. Fun fact, this split is on basically every speedrunner called Last Chance Kid. Why? This guy over here, that's Frank Fontaine, the final boss of the game. And there's a setup there, and every time you fail it, the boss will yell, Last Chance Kid. So if you fail it a lot, he will yell Last Chance Kid a lot. So that's why this split is called Last Chance Kid. We will basically set up a fairly precise setup, jump into a cutscene, and use the remaining time of the cutscene to escape early. Kill these because they're annoying. We look at this corner on the rug, look at this hole in the wall, move a bit, save. Right now we're walking forwards, jump, Last Chance Kid, ignore it, run past him, and the level's done. Another level just completely skipped. Last Chance Kid, by the way. There's only one chance. And you have to reset. Well, you don't have to reset, but you can't call yourself a BioShock speedrun if you take several last chances. It's not how they work. This level, you basically have to protect these little sisters and defend them, and it's very slow. There has not been found a way to skip all of this. It's just a boring mission. There's some RNG manipulation with the little sisters running. I got it wrong for 2 years straight, and like last week I actually learned how to do it. And I failed it again. No! Oh god, what a trash fire of a run. Basically, she walks this path very slowly, and you can somehow make her run. Her AI is completely broken. There's basically a very precise setup. You have to stand in front of her and wait for her to run ahead, then run again in front of her. She may not take damage, she may not get stuck on objects. Like, the AI is completely whack. Like, it makes very little sense. But basically, I now have to wait for her to walk instead of run. Please, come. I can't grab corpses. Oh, this is really bad. Usually we do this entire part of the run by throwing corpses at incoming enemies, which is very cheap and very effective. I can't do that because it doesn't work. I don't know why. In practice it did work. Also, by the way, she's walking. So I am basically forced to shoot all the enemies. I don't have that much ammo. I'm out of steel bolts, and machine guns are really bad. Please, could you go faster? Like, yes, start. There we go. If the box bugs up, she actually started. So usually we would stare down these hallways, grab the corpses. I can't pick up the trash can. I will use this trash can. And like this, they die in one hit. Telekinesis is broken. It's so overpowered. It's fairly random where they spawn. Usually it's the right side. But they also can spawn on the left side. The last enemy is always a spider splicer. This should be a spider splicer. Yeah, she's walking on spider splicers. Yep. So this wave is now done. Up to the next wave. There's 2 more waves like this. It's fantastic. It's such a slow level. It's gruesome. She's walking. Oh, okay. Can I get a current time? We're at 59. What? Oh, sorry, we're going way over time. Or I will have to cut it short. So, the run is already invalid because I loaded a save. So basically, there's not much to this. There's a massive, like, basically escort missions galore. Just, it takes forever. I basically load a save state right behind the last part, so I can show the final boss. It's Point Prometheus, yes, this one. Sorry, wow, I was not looking at the time. It's actually, no, wait. Sorry, that's the wrong one. So, the last final system basically gives you like the syringe here that allows us to actually hurt the final boss. Yeah, I'm hurrying. Stop blaming. So, what a quick level, like nothing, time flies by, and we're on the final boss. The final boss is a joke. It's not a good boss. Basically, Fang Fontaine takes all the Adam like the super drug in the city and becomes super strong and also super mad. Really doesn't matter. Like, we basically place bombs, he jumps in the bombs, he dies, he jumps back, we place bombs, he jumps in the bombs, he dies. Rinse and repeat. Time would be on the 4th hit. It is on the 4th hit, but if this was a run, Mercy killed the run. We place grenades here. That's the first step. He jumps in, they explode. He jumps back. That's the second hit. Now he will have 1 HP after this jump, which is fine. Third hit. So time is on the 4th hit. Why it didn't reload my mines? And time is about now. Thank God I made these backups last night. I'm sorry. That could have gone a lot better. I at least hope it was an entertaining run. And if you're interested in running this game, there's a couple of tutorials on YouTube. Shout out to KPC Zombie, who's the former world record holder. He has put up a lot of good tutorials. And yeah, I guess it's time to go. So have fun with the next one.
Yeah, thanks for showing this run for BioShock. It was a bit sad, but don't worry about going over estimate. Our tech just speedruns the setups then. So, next up is the Quake Mission Pack 1. But before we do that, we'll run a few ads, and then we will hopefully be back soon with Quake.